Hi, let's get started with this tutorial. We'll start with the basics and build from there. You'll learn how to create isometric designs. First, we'll make an isogrid that helps you draw 3D-looking shapes. You can master complex shapes easily. To add depth and visual interest, we'll detail these drawings. Even though isometric drawings don't use perspective or shadow, colour variation and layering makes the scene more dynamic. Then, we'll use basic tools like scale, shear and rotate to turn flat shapes into isometric ones. We can develop this idea further using a bit of imagination and thoughtful detail. Let's dive into the tutorial. Size of the canvas is 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. This is the colour palette that we will be using for towers. For structure above towers and for details in drawing an isometric shape, there are two main ways: manual grid setup and using the transform tool. Let's create a custom ISO grid. Select the rectangular grid tool. Set the size to 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels and dividers to 80 by 80. Let's align it to the center. Now let's rotate the grid by 45 degrees. Next, using non-uniform scale, scale it vertically by 57.74%. We've created an isometric grid. In order to check this grid, draw a vertical line and make sure it passes through all of these points. This grid is movable. Let's make it as a reference guide. You can choose the line width. This looks bulkier. 0.25 pixels will work. Now, navigate to View Guides. Make guides. Next, we'll learn the second method, using these simple steps. Create 3 equal squares. Left, top and right. For the left side of the cube. Scale it vertically by 86.062%. Shear by -30 degrees and rotate by -30 degrees. Next, for the top of the cube, scale it by 86.062%, shear by -30 degrees, and rotate by 30 degrees. Finally, for the right side of the cube, scale it, shear by 30 degree, rotate by 30 degree. If you notice it is minus 30 degrees for left and plus 30 degrees for right, the top has both minus and plus 30 degrees. Let's learn these steps practically. And to speed up the process, we'll use the action command. To access the Action command, navigate to Windows, Actions. You can dock it here. Create a new set and call it Isometry. Draw 3 squares. Add a new action, ISO Top, and hit Record. This will record the steps you perform on this selected shape, as learned earlier. Scale it vertically by 86.062%. Shear by minus 30 degrees, and rotate by 30 degrees. Oops! The Move command has been recorded. A new action for left. Follow the same steps. Scale it vertically, shear by minus 30 degree, rotate by minus 30 degree. One more action for right. This saves a ton of time, especially when working on a large project. We've got all 3 sides of the cube. This shape looks flat. Let's let's quickly learn shading. Shading can do the magic. By turning this polygon to an isometric shape, assume that light hits from this direction. So this will be the darkest plane, and this a little lighter. The top surface will be the lightest. The flat polygon appears to be an isometric shape. Now let's get back to our isometric grid and try out building over it to apply what we've learnt. Starting with the left surface. The top surface. And the right surface. Apply colours. Gradients is another vast topic. Check out my explanation of it to learn in depth. Keep your shapes grouped. Whether you're creating architectural diagrams, game art, or sleek UI illustrations, mastering the isometric design is definitely a game changer. Ready to take it further? Let's apply these techniques and create a detailed isometric scene together. And that's a wrap on the basics of isometric design in Illustrator. Catch you in the next one!